for every bank shift you do, you get £100 on top of that, which is not taxed. And then she said, can you go and get the machine? And I was like, don't even ask me to get it because I don't know how it looks like. Yeah, people can make you feel stupid.
Yeah.
But then I told her, if I tell you to do some of the things I've done, you wouldn't be able to do it. So when I moved to NHS, the first month, when I saw my payslip, I cried.
NHS pass written there.
Hi guys, welcome once again to my YouTube channel. My name you said it before. Hey, stop that. Hi Nicy. Today guys, I have the famous Nicy. Please forgive me if I don't mention your name well. Is it Wangui?
Yes, yes, it is.
On my channel, the grandmother of all overseas nurses. Not because she's old.
Grandmother.
I think she's the first person to start. She was the first person to start creating overseas nurse content in the UK. You're the first person I saw doing that, and then you inspired many of us. Like truly, when I started my channel, I used to go back to your channel every single time for inspiration and for ideas. I'm telling you, yes, yourself and this other lady, Vivian Oseni.
Yeah, Vivian.
Yes, you guys started way ahead, but I think you started first.
Yeah.
So you bring such an inspiration to my whole YouTube journey. I'm so grateful, and today I have you on my channel. It's such an honor.
Oh, thank you.
Guys, I'll leave Nicy's YouTube on the screen so that you can follow. She has so much content, like overseas nurse content. She started this. She's a grandma in the game, like I said. And so I'm going to ask her a few questions. First of all, your name and then something little about yourself.
My name is Nancy, but I like to use Nicy for my social media. I'm from Kenya, and I've been in the UK since 2018 March. So this March has been 4 years since I came here.
I know that when you came, you were working in a care home. I know we came with the same company, and you were in a care home. I mean, the same agency. So, and then you were in a care home. You left the care home to the NHS. How long were you in the care home for?
I worked there for 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
And then, so what made you want to leave to the NHS?
To be honest, when I was coming to the UK, I only wanted to go to the care home because I was attracted by the money, the package that they were giving us. And then when I got there, it was really nice because it was a good introduction to nursing in the UK. And then after staying there for a while, I felt like I was just doing the same thing over and over again. And knowing myself, I'm the kind of person who likes to have challenges around me, like learning constantly. So it started to become boring. And one of the aims I had coming here was to explore. And I had always wanted to work in like a specialized unit, A&E, and ICU. So I started looking from there. And when I got the chance, I just moved.
I always say that if I'm to move to NHS, I'll either be in A&E or ICU, honestly. Because I feel like if I go to the wards, it'll be a bit similar to what I was getting in the care home.
Exactly.
Understand? So I want like variety where I'll meet people for short periods and then new patients every time. Wow. So now, how long have you been in the ICU?
It's been a year, 6 months, maybe 7. Yeah, a year and 6 months.
You see how people always think that care home nurses are dumb, like we don't know much because it's not challenging in the care home. So, one of my fears is like when I finally decide to move to the NHS, my colleagues in the NHS might find me too dumb because maybe the basic things that they expect me to know, I wouldn't know. You understand? So that's my fear, honestly. And so I'm asking you moving straight to a care home, not to the NHS like ward, but to like ICU, a very like specialized area. How was it? Like, was it not scary? How were you able to settle? Like, how was it?
It was scary, to be honest, because I even found people there who would ask me, where were you working before? And when I say nursing home, they were like, huh? Shouldn't you have gone to the ward first before coming? But then I would tell them, whoever hired me, they saw something in me and they did my interview and they knew that I would be able to handle ICU. And honestly, it was very challenging because first of all, I was moving to ICU and it was my first time to work in a UK like hospital setting because the only thing I knew was care home. and everything is totally different. I'm seeing new machines, I'm seeing new things I had never seen before. And even if I had worked like back home in some sort of ICU setting, everything was different. The technology is like, to me, it was out of this world. And the first 3 months, I would even tell my mentor, I think I want to go back to the nursing home because everything, I want to go and do everything the way I was doing it before, because now this is so stressful. And you were expected, or I thought I was expected to know so much. And the mistake I was making was to compare myself with people who had been working in ICU for like months or years. Yeah. So my mentor, she just sat me down and she told me, listen, just take it one day at a time, step by step, because you have to get your competencies signed. Start with the IV, because I was trying to go home and read everything and understand like all the ventilators and the settings and everything, but you can't do that. We are human. So she just said, take it step by step. And when I started to do that, I started to get used to things slowly. Otherwise, I feel if I didn't do that, I would have quit and gone back to the nursing home.
Wow.
And then we have like foundation courses for ICU, where in the first, I think, few months, you go for trainings with other people who have joined the ICU recently, yeah? So you talk to each other and you feel like you're not the only one going through this. Everyone is like in shock because things are different. Some are newly qualified. Some have been working in the wards for like years. And then they move to ICU and they're going through the same thing. So I felt, I'm not the only one. So step by step, and you get used to it. And within like 4 or 5 months, you're totally used to everything and nothing scares you anymore. You just want to go and learn. You're even like excited to go back to work. So yeah, it was hard, but it gets easier with time.
So you would say it took you about 5 months, 4 or 5 months before you finally got settled and then you found your way around things.
Yeah, to get over that fear, because one thing I learned is always ask. And if you don't know, just say you don't know. Because I remember someone like in my first week, she told me to do an ECG. To be honest, this might be embarrassing, but I had never done an ECG in my whole life. And I've done like nursing for 8 years now. And I told her, I don't know how to do it. And she was shocked. And she was like, oh, where did you study? And I said, listen, if I tell you to do some of the things
I don't like, that they'll feel like I'm so dumb. Like that's what
people can make you feel stupid. But then I told her, if I tell you to do some of the things I've done, you wouldn't be able to do it because we come from different backgrounds. I've delivered babies. If I tell you to deliver one, I'm sure you wouldn't do that. So don't look at me like that because I don't know how to do an ECG. And then she said, can you go and get the machine? And I was like, don't even ask me to get it because I don't know how it looks like. So don't tell me, just get it and show me how to do it. Because if I say I know how to do it, I'm not going to do it. And the patient is the one who will end up suffering, So no matter how stupid it looks to you, just say you don't know and ask. And by the end of that, I knew how to do one. That's the point,
Did you not feel like maybe they're gossiping about you behind your back, saying that, look at that nurse, she knows nothing, she doesn't even know how to... Did you not feel that?
Honestly, sometimes I did. But then I would go back and just you think about it and you're like, I would make these comments in my head that I would tell someone if they try to make me feel stupid. Not in a rude way, but just to show them that I'm here to learn. And I've been through like a lot of areas in nursing. And like I told that person, if I tell you to do some of the things I've done, you wouldn't. So just show me. And then next time you won't even have to bother with me. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's normal to feel that way, to be honest.
Yeah. That's the scary part. Like anytime I think of going to the A&E, that's the scary part, especially when they ask me how long you've been practicing as a nurse in the UK and then you say 3 years or 4 years and they expect so much from you. Take us through a typical day at work, okay, in the ICU. Let's say you're having day shift, you're going on a day shift. What time do you sign up? What do you do? Like,
so usually for us, we do shifts 8 to 8:30. Okay. So when we get in, you just get your scrubs and get changed and then go to the allocated bed space. Usually in ICU, you get 1 patient or 2 patients if it's like level 2 and they don't need much support and they are maybe due to be discharged to the ward. but mostly it's just level 3 where you're supporting more than 2 systems in their body. Most of them are like sedated and paralyzed and, you know, having ventilators and everything. So the first thing you do is receive the handover from the previous shift. And then in ICU, we have to do like safety checks around the bed space. Things like oxygen, you have to have like a water circuit in case the ventilator goes off and you have to like bag the patient. You check if you have enough oxygen cylinders, you check your emergency equipment around you. And then after that, you just examine your patient, like head to toe or with the systems, however you prefer. For ICU, because these patients are critically ill, we have to do our OBS every hour.
Every hour?
Every hour.
Are they being done by you or by a device and then you just record from the device?
So in my trust, we are very lucky because we are using an advanced, like, how do I call it? Software. I don't know if I should call it a software, but everything is on the computer.
Okay.
And they've connected the ventilator and the monitor to the computer. So when you click, the OBS just appear and then you can kind of acknowledge. But then for like infusions, you have to keep doing like input them manually on the computer. But there are some trusts where they are still doing paperwork. A lot of them are. So you have to do the paperwork every hour, check, document, you know, all that. But you have to do it because the patients are really sick and you need to know how they're doing. And then our medication is like depending on the patient. So we don't have like morning meds or lunch or evening. So they're just prescribed depending on the patient. Some of them have ongoing infusions. If your patients are like paralyzed and sedated, you have to keep changing the infusions. So you prepare them and make sure that they are ready and they are the right concentration. In my trust, we don't have to double check any medication. I've been to other places where they double check all the IVs. Even if I'm giving IV paracetamol, I have to check with another nurse.
Oh.
But for us, we are lucky. We're given that freedom and they trust us that you'll be able to do the right thing, apart from things like CDs. So if you're giving things like fentanyl or things like that, you have to sign them with another nurse from the CD. Yeah. And then we expected to like roll our patients every maybe 4 hours, depending on how they are.
Roll? So reposition, you mean?
Yeah, reposition. Okay. So, and that will take maybe 2 or 3, sometimes even more nurses, because you have someone to hold the airway in case, you know, it just comes off, because we have to be very, very careful. Because the airway, if that comes off, then it's a real emergency and it's a danger to the patient. And then, so you just kind of keep repeating that the whole day. There will be doctors' rounds, but then the doctors are always around the bay or around the area in case something happens. And you will be in a bay with other people if you're not in a side room. So we are expected to work as a team. So you'll be helping other people around you and they're going to be helping you as well. So it's more of teamwork, to be honest. And I like that because you feel like you're not alone and you can always ask if you need something. And then, of course, you'll be like relieving each other for break. So if I go for break, then the person next to me will be there to keep an eye on my patient, maybe do my OBS for the hour if I'm not back by then. Yeah.
When you were talking about the nurse to patient ratio, you mentioned level 3, level 2. What exactly did you mean by that?
So for level 3 patients, these are patients who are like critically ill and you're supporting more than 2 systems of their body. So for example, you're giving them inotropes for their blood pressure. Some of them are having the vents breathing for them. So those are like level 3 patients, or maybe you put them on a filter, which is like a dialysis machine that we use in the ICU. So those will be considered as level 3. So for level 2, maybe they were level 3 at some point, but now they're getting better. They are due to be discharged to the ward. So maybe they're just there for observation or waiting for a bed from the ward so they can go there. So in such a case, you can be given 2 of them. Although it's really hard because you're still expected to do the OBS hourly for most of them. Some of them they're scared. They need you to be talking to them constantly and reassuring them. Yeah, and all of that.
So when you first started in the ICU, like how long was your orientation and the whole thing?
You know what happened? So when I joined, before I joined ICU, I used to talk to another guy and he had joined cath lab. So he was telling me, oh, my induction is like 6 months. I'm still 6 months in and I don't get patients by myself. And he would encourage me that when I go there, I will have like 6 months of induction. And that got into my head. So when I started, I honestly thought I would be in induction for 6 months. I don't know why I thought that. And then my manager, she told me that because I'm not newly qualified, my induction is 3 weeks. I only had 3 weeks. So I complained and they only added me 1 more day. So the day before I started working by myself, I'm telling you, I couldn't sleep. I just had monitors going off. My patient is coding. I would wake up in the middle of the night because I'm having these scary dreams because I was so scared to work by myself. But you don't work by yourself. Like, they can't put you in a side room then because they know you're still new and you maybe haven't finished getting your competencies signed off. So you will be in the bay in the middle of other people who are more experienced. And I think it was a good thing because it was still kind of in the middle of pandemic. So I found myself learning under pressure, which was, I think, better for me because I got to learn more quicker and I had that pressure on myself. Yeah.
So what advice do you give to someone like me that has like plans of, let's say, in the near future, starting at a place like that? What kind of mistakes did you do that you think you can, advise me on so that I don't do such mistakes? Or how can my learning process be easier?
I would say just first of all, go for it. If you feel you want to do it, just go and don't listen to anyone telling you that you can't do it or that you need to go to the ward first or do all that stuff that they say. So go for it. Number 2, the mistake I said, I was comparing myself with people who had like been there for years. Some had already done the critical care course and I was expecting myself to answer questions like them. Don't do that. Just take it nice, easy, step by step. They give you like a list of things that you have to do. I would say go by that. And always ask. Like I've said, it may seem like the most stupid thing. People may make you feel silly, like you've never even gone to nursing school, but just ignore that. Always ask. You will get a mentor. Make use of them. Talk to them. And even if you're just in the unit and you see someone who has been there for a while and they're not even your mentor, talk to them. Talk to other people because it will help you feel like you're not the only one going through this. You're not stupid. It's expected when you go to such a unit. It's expected to feel that. So don't feel like you're out of place or you're silly or anything. Just do your best to learn and always ask. Go on the internet, like on the trust intranet, they call it intranet. They have so much information there, like policies and explaining things, how things are done in there. So just read and always ask. And don't be scared. You will feel it, but don't let it affect you.
Wow. Yeah. I'm very sure that when that day comes, I'll have to come back to this interview and listen to everything again. So with all that struggle, did that make you regret, working in the care home? Did that make you regret?
No, actually, I always say that me going to the care home first has helped me get to where I am. Because in my care home, our manager and deputy manager were kind of strict, I would say. And they were very strict on doing things to the point, documentation, and then learning about policies and reading about like patients' rights and all that. And for me, coming from Kenya, things were totally different, So that was a really good introduction for me. And I got to learn how nursing in the UK is, how to behave with patients, with relatives especially. And I feel like if I didn't go through the nursing home, I wouldn't be the same. I would be a different person, maybe. So I never regret working in the care home. And I did enjoy it. And so even when I was working in ICU, like in the first few months, I would go back to do agency shifts for nursing home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now everybody says that like the care home pays more. Okay. So you moving from a care home to the ICU with all the stress and all the hard work in the ICU and then being paid way less than how much you were earning in the care home. How did that make you feel? First of all, is it true? Was your pay in the ICU compared to the care home, was it like very different? Like, was the difference massive? And is it true that in the NHS you are overworked? As one of my guests said, stress and you're broke.
Actually, it's true. It's kind of true, to be honest. So when I moved to NHS, the first month, when I saw my pay slip, I cried.
Wow.
I cried because I think I lost more than £5 an hour, and that's a lot of money. In my care home, to be honest, they were very good and they were paying us very, very well. And even when I said I wanted to leave, they thought I was leaving because of money and they were ready to like add my money. So my manager was asking me, Nancy, how much do you want? Tell us. But then I left. And then when I saw my paycheck, I was crying and thinking what this manager was telling me, how much did I want? And that was another reason that made me feel like I wanted to go back to the nursing home. But I don't know.
If you don't mind, give us an estimate. How much?
Oh, NHS is bad money. NHS, you're broke when you get there, especially the first month. It was like, I think I started with, was it 13? I think 13 pounds, to be honest. And then I was doing just day shifts because you're doing induction and all that. So when you see your pay slip, it's just the worst. I think even my first month in the UK, I didn't get paid that less. In the nursing home. My first month in the UK, it was better. And then after that, I started doing nights. And then after 6 months, I would pick up like extra shifts there. But because I felt like I was struggling financially in the beginning. So that's why I said I would go back to the nursing home to do agency shifts, which really, really helped me. Another reason I was glad that I worked in a nursing home before. So it's true, we are kind of overworked and we are broke if you consider the NHS pay. But all in all, when you're there and you're working and you're learning and you're enjoying your job, sometimes it kind of doesn't matter a lot, and you always find ways to supplement your income.
So people say that if you are in a more specialized unit, sometimes you get paid higher, like people in ICU, for instance. Do you get paid higher than the other nurses in the other wards?
I hear we do. I haven't actually had a chance to compare my pay with someone who's working in the ward, but some people say that we do because they were working in the ward and then they moved to ICU and their pay was increased with, I don't know, maybe a few pounds an hour. So I think they do. And then considering I'm living in London and I am in inner London, so we also get some kind of compensation for that, which is I think 20% or 25%. So that does help.
And when you do like bank shifts or extra shifts in the ICU, how much is the money? Is it huge? Like
it is better because when I started doing now bank shifts in ICU, I stopped doing the agency for nursing homes, because it was especially during the pandemic. So they had increased it to, I think, 30 something an hour, but now they've taken it down and it's gone back to 27. But for every bank shift you do, you get £100 on top of that, which is not taxed. So it's still a good deal for the people who are doing the like bank shifts at work. But I'm not sure if all the trusts are giving the £100 compensation. But for us, we get it. So it is good.
Would you say that now you have like job satisfaction?
Yes, I do. I do. Honestly, I do. I really enjoy it. And I no longer have that fear. Like when I go to work, I don't feel like running away anymore. So I love it. I love it.
And I watched one of your videos. I think you said you've gone back to school.
I'm going back to school actually next month. It's called a critical care course. So usually you're given that chance to go back and specialize in ICU after you've been there for a while. I'm lucky. I think when you're in London, things go really fast because I have a friend who lives up north and she's been working in ICU for almost maybe close to 3 years now. And she just got the chance to go back to school. So I'm lucky I've been there for like a year. I actually got it when I was a year. They just postponed it because I had so much annual leave in the beginning. So yeah, I'm going back and I'm looking forward to it. They say it's really
funded
tough.
by the trust. And
yes.
How long is the course?
I think it's like 6 months in class and then you have placements after that.
Wow.
So you're doing it while you're still working. So it's very good.
So good on your CV. It's really good.
Yeah, it is. I'm really glad. I'm really happy. You have to do like interviews to get it and it's like a really stressful process to get the chance, but I'm glad I finally got it. And when you're doing agency, like if I'm doing agency now and then I do the course, they will pay me higher because I have that course on my CV. So it's really good. Yeah.
Wow. And when it's time to, let's say, go up the band, like if you want to upgrade to, let's say, are you still band 5?
Yes.
Let's say if you want to move to band 6, it's also a big thing for you. Yeah.
Actually, you can never become a band 6 in ICU without this course.
I see.
Yeah, and that's why if I've heard that if you're band 7 somewhere in the ward and then you come to ICU, you have to go back to band 5 because
of
it's
that.
a requirement that you have this course and you have to be there for. Because I remember when I was in the nursing home, I did try applying for this course
I was
in the
about to ask,
uni.
how much is it if you're doing it by yourself?
It's not expensive actually. It's like 2,000 for a
This
module because there's two of them.
20,000 is not expensive. That's
It's
expensive.
not because and then the problem is you have to have worked in ICU for like a year minimum. You have to
Before.
have your competencies signed off. There's a booklet they give you, and
Okay.
then while you're doing the course, you still have to be working in ICU at the time. That's why
Oh,
my application was rejected in the
okay.
beginning.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. I've learned a lot actually. I've learned a lot. Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah. So when you're doing like the bank shifts I talked about, those are the ones that are given by the trust.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you're going to work with agency and work in different hospitals, like different ICUs around your area, then the
Oh,
pay is way, way higher. You can't even compare it to the
how much,
bank shifts.
if you don't mind
So
sharing?
um for one shift, you can get like 50, the minimum you can get is £50 an hour.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Is it after you've done the critical care course or
No, even before. I haven't done the course. I haven't even started, but it's possible. So during the pandemic, the people who worked, I think now they're millionaires because people were making £80 an hour, as in £80 an hour.
wow, just because they
Yeah.
have the ICU experience?
At that time, it didn't matter because it was during COVID and all the hospitals needed nurses to go and work there. So
So
they
just
were
because
just
you were
taking
working in,
anyone with ICU experience.
okay.
Yeah, and people made a lot of money then. But now, because the pandemic has kind of, it's kind of going away, the pay has come down, but it's still good. So you can get 50. And if you open like a limited company, so if you do 2 shifts, you get like 1,200. That's enough to pay your bills and your rent and everything. And then you can kind of plan or, budget for your other salary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, are you saying that if you pick agency shifts to work in ICU in other trusts because you are ICU experience, you can get as much as £50 per hour?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, you can. That's why I'm so happy because over the last like 3 months, I've had people contacting me. Oh, what questions were you asked for ICU? I have an interview. And then people just come back to you and they're like, I got it. And I'm like, yes, because there's so much. As in, it's a really good place to work in. It's so marketable. And even when you look at people going, I have people I know who have just worked here for like 2 years. And then they decided, you know what, I've had enough of the UK. I'm going to Australia. I'm going to Canada. And it's so much easier to move. And showing your CV that you've worked in this hospital in the
Even in
UK.
America,
Yes.
even the ICU experience is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. So for anyone who has always wanted to work there, just, try your luck. I'm sure
I'll
you'll get
come
it.
back to ask you the questions you were asked at your interview.
Yeah.
Please write them down so you don't forget. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you
Mm.
so much. I really learned a lot.
Yeah.
It's
Thank you for having me.
guys, support Nissy's channel. She was away for a while and now she's back giving us hot. So I'll leave her link in the description and on the screen. So guys,
Yeah.
support her and then let her know you're from Nanelle's channel. Okay, you would love her channel. So Nissy, thank you so much and bye.
Bye.